Zapatero against the ropes, his defense fails to prove the origin of the jewelry valued at 1.3 million euros. Let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of Medidas Cautelares High Alert in Zapatero's legal team. They have a big problem, and that is they can't find an alibi, justify the origin of the jewelry seized by the agents of the Economic and Fiscal Crime Unit of the police to the former Prime Minister José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, which were initially valued at 1.3 million euros. We are going to share this information that we have firsthand, information from sources close to Zapatero's lawyer, which of course puts the former Prime Minister in a critical situation in the context of the Plus Ultra case. We are going to share this information. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel, as we are already on our way to that goal, that consensus. To reach that goal of 150,000 subscribers before the month of August. Come on, one last push. And we already have on screen the image of Zapatero when he went to testify before the judge of the National Court, José Luis Calama, last June. You could see the worried look on his face, and it's no wonder. The defense of José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, led by the litigation lawyer Victor Moreno Catena, is very worried about the difficulty in justifying the origin of the jewels seized from the former socialist prime minister, valued at 1.3 million euros. Agents from the National Police's Economic and Fiscal Crime Unit, UDEF, seized the jewels from Zapatero on May 19th. During a search ordered by the head of the Central Investigative Court No. 4 of the National Court, José Luis Calama, as part of the Plus Ultra case. The jewels were found in the safe of an office belonging to the former socialist president, which was guarded by his secretary, Gertrudis Alcazar. Zapatero's spokesperson, Luis Arroyo, initially valued the jewels at around 30,000 or 50,000 euros. However, the appraisal carried out by Serena Jewelers, with the collaboration of the Spanish Gemological Institute, estimated their value at least 1.3 million euros. At least 1.3 million, from 30,000 euros to 1.3 million, just think about what we're talking about. Well, sources close to Zapatero's defense, consulted by Medidas Cautelares and Libertad Digital, say that there is great concern about justifying the origin of the jewelry seized from a safe in one of the former Prime Minister's offices. He tells us that it is proving very difficult to find a credible explanation for the jewelry issue. Victor Catena is locked away working on this matter. They are trying to obtain documentation from the United Arab Emirates in order to prove the origin and age of the items, which would be used to have the possible tax offense deemed time-barred. Furthermore, as we mentioned in Medidas Cautelares, Zapatero's lawyer is working closely with Begoña Gómez's attorney, the former socialist minister Antonio Camacho. In this case, Judge José Luis Calama decided to open a separate proceeding against Zapatero for alleged smuggling or tax offenses after receiving the initial appraisal of the jewelry at 1.3 million. According to the judge, the possession of high-value luxury goods, combined with the lack of a tax trail for their acquisition, constitutes an objective and rational indication of the possible existence of significant tax fraud. Since the acquisition of jewelry of such value necessarily generates tax obligations, whether in terms of VAT, transfer taxes, inheritance and gift taxes, or personal income tax, depending on the nature of the legal transaction. This is the order by which Judge Calama agreed to open that separate case and specifically investigate the matter of the jewelry in a separate file. The same sources consulted point out that Zapatero, in his statement as a person under formal investigati on June 17, gave a period of 1 week or 10 days at most to provide the judge with an explanation about the seized jewelry. It has already been more than 3 weeks since then, and the defense of the former socialist prime minister has not provided any information on the matter. Quite simply, because there isn't any. Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero, we are told, is very affected by the investigation of the Plus Ultra case that hangs over him, his wife, and his 2 children. Daughters, he is very depressed and hardly leaves the house. We remember that the former Prime Minister is under investigation for the bailout by Pedro Sanchez's administration of 53 million euros to the airline Plus Ultra. The judge charges him with alleged crimes of influence peddling, criminal organization, falsification, money laundering, misappropriation, and regarding the jewelry issue, smuggling and tax evasion. And here you have one of the jewels that was included. It was seized precisely from the defense of Jose Luis, from Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero himself, right? And that was seized by UDEF agents. Also, in recent days, we have learned that the tax agency has joined the case. The judge of the National Court, Jose Luis Calama, offered the tax agency the opportunity to join as a potential injured party in this separate case regarding the jewels. And the State Legal Service confirmed in recent days its appearance as a party in the case. In addition, the tax agency informed the investigating judge that it already had ongoing tax inspections. For Zapatero, his wife Sonsoles Espinosa, his daughters Alba and Laura Rodriguez Espinosa, and his business circle, specifically to his alleged frontman Julio Martinez? Well, the tax agency asked the investigating judge if it should temporarily suspend its investigation so as not to interfere with the criminal case. And for his part, Zapatero himself requested that Judge Calama and the tax agency hold the aforementioned tax inspections. And this is the information we have. The defense of Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero is very worried because they haven't been able to find a justification for the origin of the jewelry seized in a safe in one of the offices of the former Prime Minister, Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. And the initial appraisal valued them at least 1.3 million euros. Zapatero's lawyer, Victor Moreno Catena, has been trying for many days, weeks, to obtain documentation from the United Arab Emirates, with the aim of proving their origin and age. This would help him invoke the statute of limitations on the tax offense. So far, they are encountering a lot of difficulties. And Zapatero himself is very worried and depressed about this Plus Ultra case investigation that is weighing on him, his wife, and his 2 daughters. We'll see if there are any updates in the coming hours or days regarding this information. And if there are, of course, you'll have them here, as always, exclusively on Medidas Cautelares. That's it for this edition of Medidas Cautelares. I hope you enjoyed the video and found the information useful. And if that's the case, you know what to do. Give it a like, share it with whoever you want, family, friends, and colleagues. And keep supporting this community, this channel that all of you are a part of, which is Medidas Cautelares, and we're growing more and more every day. We've already surpassed 140,000 subscribers, and we're on our way to 150,000, by the way. Thank you to all of you who keep becoming members of Medidas Cautelares, whether as the chosen ones or as the supremes. From now on, to become a member of the chosen ones, it's less than 4 euros a month, and for the supremes, it's less than 8 euros a month. Thank you all so much for your support, for being there day after day, and also for your contributions via Bizum at 62755637, 62755637. And we're going to dedicate today's show to our latest member, who also has, well, a first and last name. We could say it's very, very striking, very much in the media right now. Begoña Gómez, but it's Begoña Gómez, the good one, not to be confused with Pedro Sanchez's wife. Well, today's show is for Begoña Gómez, who became a member as one of the Supremes. Thank you so much, Begoña, for supporting Medidas Cautelares. As I always say, the key is making sure everyone gets this information because information is power. See you soon.